Hey everyone, it's me, Doomlink, and welcome back to Doomlink's Live Hunts. We are back in Monster Portable 3rd, which I am glad to see. We have a full group together, so there is hopefully almost no downtime to be seen or experienced or tolerated. Because I'm sick of excessive downtime in my Monster recordings. This setup process has not been as stressful as it usually is when I'm setting up a PC recording, so that is also to be welcomed. And yeah, we are starting with Crimson Kurapeko, which is a monster that I almost never hunt, and a monster that I almost never showcase, so I'm glad to be able to do that. I do warn you that the hunt is going to be over pretty quickly, so don't expect a lengthy, exciting, riveting hunt. It's not going to be like that. But, well, it might be exciting. I'm not going to say that it won't be exciting, but I will at least say that it's not going to be a long, epic hunt. That's what I mean to say. I'm just getting my chat ready on Twitch, and apparently Twitch is already happy with my connection for some reason. Usually it takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes for it to actually stop choking on the signal that I send it, but today it's feeling pretty happy with what I'm sending it. Maybe it's getting used to it. You know, I actually don't want to continue along those lines. I was going to make some terrible analogy that was sexual in nature, but I decided that I'm better than that. Anyway, I'm going to pause that. Just pausing things, messing around. Usually by the time I've gone live, I'm not 100% set up, but it is absolutely the case that I need to get to this monster as quickly as possible, otherwise it's going to be dead before I can even show you what the monster is like. This is indeed a subspecies of Kurapeko, a monster that only exists in Monster Hunter Tri and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, that is to say, Kurapeko. This subspecies only, well, excuse me, Tri, Portable 3rd, and 3 Ultimate. This subspecies only exists in Portable 3rd and 3 Ultimate, and it is a Kurapeko that actually, oh great, so he's just called a Devil Joe. That's a great start. There is a temptation to actually hunt that Devil Joe, but again, I'm not really elementally appropriate, so I don't think I'll bother. The smartest thing to do when fighting a Crimson Kurapeko is probably to bring raw weaponry, and then kill the Devil Joe that it summons. It makes the hunt more fun. It makes the fun more fun, that's for sure. But we won't describe it in that way, it's not very articulate. And I've been flashed. I'm glad that I've got a full group though. I wasn't too sure if I would manage it, but it seems that these guys are pretty willing to hunt. I am just doing random hunts. I'm using the command in Huntsdiverse that just gives me a random quest to do, preferably in high rank. Unfortunately, for some reason, in the Portable 3rd game, that particular command can actually give you low rank quests, such as low rank drink and hot spring quests, which is not all that helpful, but anyway, I mean, it's not like they are challenging low-rank quests, they're just quests that give certain rewards when completed that cause them to be in a different quest list than your standard quests, but on their own they are just normal low-rank quests, so I will not be doing them if they come up in the random hunts list. Sometimes I have to actually go and search through all of the quests in the game to find out that it's actually not in the standard list, and then I'd have to find out if it's low rank or high rank, which is very annoying, but anyway. Hopefully already you can see the main differences between this subspecies and the regular Kurapeko. You can also see that the wind press from the tail swing is much greater. Essentially the fight has been changed so that it's more of a tier 2 hunt than a tier 1 hunt, which is precisely what it is. When I say tier 1, tier 2, what I mean is that it's sort of in the second list of quests that you would find in whatever rank, as opposed to the first. I think by G rank this would end up being in the first list, but this is not a G rank game, so I can't really check. I don't remember how they did it in 3 Ultimate. My guess is that he probably did appear, that is Crimson Peko, probably appeared in the G1 quest list. by virtue of the fact that in G4, you've actually got a lot of end game quests. So therefore, you can't really have this thing be tier 2 in G rank. Doesn't make sense. Oh, damn it. Well, I certainly didn't intend for that, and I was not the only one who was befuddled by that. Now, lighting conditions are suboptimal, in that they are fluctuating violently, much as they were yesterday when I was recording Generations Ultimate. I did want to do 3 Ultimate yesterday, but it just wasn't going to work out, unfortunately. I didn't really have a group to play with, and if I don't have a group to play with, then it's not going to work well for a live stream. I don't mind a bit of downtime while waiting for groups to form and for hunts to be embarked upon if I can edit the video, but if it's live, needless to say, there is no editing taking place, so the less downtime the better. That's the way I do it. Hello, Koroku. Surprisingly, this Crimson Kurapeko is taking more of a hit than I expected. Like, he can actually take the damage of a full high rank team beating on him without pause, which is great. Well, technically, Kurapeko did have a moment's reprieve. Jesus Christ, man. Stop lance charging the whole damn team. And then they both got attacked by Roggy. But yeah, Kurapeko did have a bit of a reprieve, or was granted a reprieve, by way of the fact that we were sent into the other area. Well, we weren't sent into the other area, but we tried to chase him, which ended up being in the next area, so... or over the threshold that would take us into the next area, you know what I mean. But Crimson Peko is not long for this world, I regret to say. He's got more of a pinkish red than a crimson. I would say Scarlet would be a more appropriate way to describe this monster, Scarlet Kurapeko, although perhaps that's not as, I don't know, threatening. Scarlet Kurapeko, I'm not sure. I've always imagined, look, people have different interpretations of what colours are, like shades of colours. I've always imagined Crimson to be a very rich, deep red, whereas Scarlet's almost more of a pinkish red. That's how I've... not like salmon pink sort of thing, nothing like that, but just still definitely red, but almost more of a pinkish red. But yeah. That is Crimson Kurapeko. I probably don't have many materials from him. I think Vivid Feathers are from both Crimson and regular Kurapeko, but obviously the C Peko scale is for Crimson. The drops for Kurapeko back in Tri were actually, like the materials that is to say, were actually red. And because Crimson Peko was introduced in this game, the colour for the red materials was reserved for Crimson Kurapeko, and then regular Kurapeko's materials became green, which I felt, and still feel, to be a more appropriate colour for Kurapeko materials. So, it's funny because I had actually forgotten that they were red in Tri, until I recently, and by recently I guess I'm referring to about a year ago, or was it 2 years ago? I can't remember. Let's say a year and a half ago when I jumped on Tri for the first time in a number of years, and I actually realised that the original Kurapeko material colour was red, like this, red and pink, which was just weird. My memories had been overwritten by my experience in Portable Third and 3 Ultimate. Memories from Tri, that is. So, that was a bit weird, but there are a few of those things, but I probably won't go into that deeply. Let's go and get another random hunt organised. Unfortunately, AOE Salmonella, which is a lovely name, does not have a free space in this room. He did say that he was going to hunt with me a bit later when he was able to, but unfortunately there is no space at this time. It is what it is. Okay, so we've got Glacial Agnoctor on the board. I am still working towards my, 100 and, I think, what is the number? Is it 100? Yeah, 112 until it reaches the highest point on the first page of the weapon usage list. I'm still working towards that for Greatsword, Hammer, Switch Axe, and Heavy Bowgun, so those are my weapon choices today. And I think I'm going to go Greatsword. I'm in a Greatsword mood. Let's go and equip. Just the standard set. I do have a Sharp Greatsword set, which is almost exclusively for the True Cutter Sword. That's if I want to use the True Cutter Sword and feel like I'm actually dealing decent damage. If I were to use the True Cutter Sword with this set, it would just be awful. I think I would have a tiny sliver of blue sharpness, something like that. Oh, for the love of God, I'm so sick of this happening. You leave your own room for just a moment. Let's see... Peak, Guildhall 11B, I guess. For fuck's sake. What is going on? I'm guessing that's Lanksa with his... Yeah, I know I'm not in a Guildhall. I didn't really intend for that. I'm going to try and join again. I do realise that I'm still showing the chat. If it's still full, for fuck's sake, these people need to get a grip. Okay. I don't know who joined there. I don't think it was a random person. It was just someone taking a stab at getting a slot in this room, but clearly they just stole mine. Alright. And we use the word slot instead of spot or place or anything like that. I don't know why. Slot is a weird word. It's not incorrect, it's just probably not the most appropriate, but that's what's caught on, so if I say slot and you think that's kind of weird, well, I don't know. All I can hope is that you understand what I'm talking about. And then withhold judgments after that point. I guess Glacial is in here. Yeah, Agnoctor's a tier 3 monster, so that makes sense. Ice Wedge. When I was talking about Lanksa posting reactions, he's this guy who's just... I mean, he used to be a regular hunter on Hunsterverse, and then about 2.5 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, he just stopped hunting and started spamming reactions on every message for a period of maybe 10 minutes at a time. And he's always done that since, and I don't know why. It's very sad, honestly. He no doubt does it for some kind of attention, and I suppose he gets it every time, which is why he persists in doing that, but it doesn't bother me, it's just kind of dumb. Anyway, I don't know if... Was Zerta hunting with us before? I don't remember. Someone's avatar, apparently. Clarence... This Aha guy. Oh, Gobudin was the one that was hunting before. Clarence. He is Gob in-game. I'm just making sure that his spot hasn't been stolen. Because I wouldn't want that. Okay, so he has given his spot to Zerta, which is fine. I'm just making sure. Guildhall sniping, even amongst regular players, is kind of common, and I don't want to in any way promote that. I've got some gin today, and by some I mean a whole bottle. The ingredients are sakura flower, yuzu peel, sencha tea, sunshore pepper, sakura leaf, and gyokuro tea. Very well. I realised the angle was probably not that great. You probably just saw the bottle but not much of the glass, but... oh well. Lighting right now, again, is a bit strange, but it should be fine. I'm hoping. Oh, whoops. It hasn't updated in ages. It's one of those cases where the game froze. I hate it when that happens. It has to do with how I minimize the game. Sometimes when I minimize it, it continues to run on OBS, and then other times it freezes. It will continue to play the audio because system audio is being recorded in OBS right now, but in terms of the application running while minimized, that's a bit hit or miss. Damn it. I've got like a hair in my keyboard that needs to go away. Alright. Cheers. It's been a while since I've had this particular gin. Usually I just have like a litre of Gordon's, but this is quite nice too. Got a bit more of a bite to it, which I enjoy. Alright, so Glacial Noctor, sort of a standard hunt, honestly, if we consider 3rd generation, and what I record for 3rd generation. Usually that would be 3 Ultimate, and Glacial Noctor is a typical hunt there. But it's a different game, so I guess it's fine. Doesn't matter if it's been done before. I'm just ensuring that I have a good opportunity. Now I should be able to clear that. Oh, could have gone ahead with a level 3 charge there. Did not. To give you a progress report on my Freedom 2 play, not that I've made a habit of doing that, but I have mentioned the fact that I'm playing Freedom 2, and I did do a recording of Freedom 2 in the Hunting with Purpose series, so I may as well give you an update as to what I'm doing with that. I have almost reached the end of HR 6. In other words, I've almost completed the online quests of the game. When I say completed, I mean completed the main ones. I haven't completed every quest. A person's idea of completion of a Monster Hunter game varies by, depending on the person, but I just mean all key quests and urgents completed. I'm almost at that point in Freedom 2. In Freedom 2, you don't have Nekot or anything like that. There's no super high rank that plays like G rank in the offline, which is what Nekot was. So you've just got Elder quests, which I have completed in the sense that I've reached the final list of urgent quests. And as well as that, I'm almost at a Cantor in Freedom 2. A Cantor being the final boss of Freedom 2. I haven't yet fought a Cantor in Freedom 2. I'm guessing he's going to hit like an absolute truck, and I'm also going to guess that he has a lot of health. I don't know how he's going to compare to the likes of a high-rank Elder Dragon. In terms of health, probably a bit less, but he's probably going to hit just as, if not harder. That would be my assumption. Excuse me. It's always good when I'm trying to talk and then I just, half belch. It's not that social either. Aha, I managed to avoid getting hit by that Gunlance shell. Have I reached 112 uses of Gunlance? Or with Gunlance? I don't know. I'll have to check. I might have just recently reached it. Gunlance was one of the weapon types that I needed to work on my weapon usages with. See, I don't know if I want to say weapon uses or usages. I need to make a determination on that. I'm not really happy with the word usages. It sounds stupid. So I think uses is the word. I might not make this one. BLK almost made it, but not quite. Which was unfortunate. BLK, by the way, is only now getting into Greatsword. He's basically forcing himself to use Greatsword when he never used it in the past. He's played a lot of Portable Third. He's played about as much Portable Third as I had played Try in the past. And that means that he's got several thousand hours into the game. But he hasn't used certain weapon types. And so now he's giving Greatsword a shake. And he seems to be doing reasonably well. I'm not going to actually... I've nothing to say against the use of heavy shelling there. It may very well have lined up with me, but that's good damage. It's when people shoot me away with uncharged shells that don't do much damage that I start to get pissed off. I don't mind being hit away by a weapon that's dealing good damage. But if the overall damage being dealt to the monster has been compromised in my having been blasted away from the monster, but without the attack that threw me away being damaging to compensate for the lack of damage being dealt to the monster, then obviously that's not appropriate. In other words, don't shoot uncharged shells unless it's A, Monster Hunter DOS, Freedom 2 or Freedom Unite, or B, the team is far away from your gun lance and there is no chance of you messing anyone up. That's really what happens. Or how it should happen. I've got these snow particles that are just flying in front of my screen and they're really quite distracting. Alright. So if I put my camera here, it's like little rice grains flying past my point of view. Mildly entertaining. I do love that though. The exit, or entrance depending on how you would look at it, has all the snow from outside sort of blowing in. It's little things like that that you don't notice. You're too busy, I don't know, hunting monsters to really take notice of that stuff. But that's very nice. Alright, what do we got? Pretty good rewards. Got a Glacial Agnaktor beak, got some tails, which is nice. I don't really need stuff in this game anymore. Something about this game, I suppose it has to do with the fact that it is an easier Monster Hunter game. It was the easiest game until World came out. Base World, that is to say. Every time I say that, I'm sure someone's like, World's not that easy, Doomlink. Well, Iceborne isn't. And the latter updates of Base World were made to be harder, but... Anyway, I don't really want to get on that conversation. The point is that when Base World came out, that was phenomenally easy, and that was the only time that this game was dethroned as the easiest Monster Hunter game. But what I'm trying to say is that even though I haven't put as much time into this game as, say, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I've only got 460 hours on this particular character, for instance. I've basically made everything that I want to make. I don't know if that's because the game's really easy, that was my initial theory, or it could be to do with the fact that I've been very focused on... it could be that I've been laser focused on exactly what I want to make with this character. That could be part of it as well. I apologise for bumping the boom stand, by the way. We've got Tigrex and Sand Barrioth, which is nice. One function of the random hunt command in Huntsverse is that it can actually allocate weapon types for the hunters to use. I do usually make use of that functionality, but because I'm actually trying to use specific weapon types here, I'm just ignoring what it's selecting for me. Looks like I do have 112 uses with Gunlance, very well. What would I like to use? Of course, Sand Barrioth and Tigrex do have different weaknesses, which is unfortunate. So I'll just have to go with either status or raw. In terms of weapons... hammer, I guess. Do I have a status hammer, or would I just use the Duramboros hammer? I'll work it out. I don't think I have a status hammer in this game. I mean, it just goes to show that there are a few things that I can still make in the game. It's just I'm not overwhelmed with things to do, as one is when they're first going through the game. I've got a few little things to take care of, like status weapons. Status weapons have become a very low priority for me in all Monster Hunter games. I just don't focus much on them. I'm very focused, however, on elemental weapons, because I'm an elemental guy. Always have been. Where is this quest? Tigrex and Sandbarrioth. I found Black Diablos in Sandbarrioth. It could be a drink quest. If it appears to be a drink quest, then I will check through that list. I don't think it's here. Because I don't think... yeah, Tigrex isn't a tier 2 monster. So we have to... I'll check these. That's Hot Spring, now drink quests. I know that it's high rank because Sandbarrioth is a high rank... there we go. Sandbarrioth is a high rank exclusive subspecies, so I don't have to worry about it being a low rank quest. As I said earlier on in the recording, you can occasionally get quests that are low rank in that pool of quests that are included in that command, but yeah, fortunately, this one is not low rank. Before I started this recording, my webcam and the custom driver that recognizes my PS3 controller, they were having a major disagreement. Like a major disagreement, and I had to break up this major disagreement 3 times before the start of this recording, and if that doesn't make any sense to you, what I've just said, then I don't know, I don't really want to explain it in detail because it's not all that interesting, but my hope is that no problems transpire during the recording. That's the thrust of what I'm trying to get across here. I want things to work smoothly. That is my hope. So this here is kind of like the standard form of communication in this channel. Lots of sexual jokes. It always has been that way. Uh-oh. That is the sound of me accidentally unplugging my controller. And if I do that, it's going to run the risk of exactly what I said happened before I started recording. It's going to run the risk of that happening while I'm recording, which is not good. I don't need any further disagreements. But yeah, it seems that the the mini USB connection, I always go to say micro because you almost never say mini USB anymore. Because not many devices have mini USB, but yeah, the mini USB connector on my controller, I think is starting to wear out. And the connection is no longer consistent. Or reliable, I should say. In other words, you can wiggle it a little bit and then it'll disconnect and reconnect. I hate that. Mini USB is a terrible connector, and quite frankly, micro USB is probably even worse. In that the connector itself can very easily get dislodged as you insert and... can't think of the antonym to insert at the moment. When you unplug it and plug it back in repeatedly, it's slowly but surely dislodges the port, and that's really frustrating. What are we starting with? I guess Tigrex. Tigrex is in Area 3, so we will go and deal with him. As I've mentioned before, double quests can be a little bit problematic in terms of the smoothness of connectivity. The one that I'm hosting will be fine, obviously. But in Portable Third, the second monster will always be hosted by the blue player, who is BLK. I think BLK doesn't have a good connection to me. at all, because BLK is actually in South America. So that's not going to be great. I don't really have the stamina for this. Oh, I do actually. That's good. Oh wow, the timing is so different with the golf swing out of the spin in 3rd generation. Terribly different. Hello, Arexion. I'll have to let my stamina regenerate a little bit more than that. But yeah, what you're seeing here is exactly what 3rd generation is lacking. Neither Tri nor 3 Ultimate has Tigrex, but Portable 3rd does. Oh my god. I'm so not used to the timing here. If your instincts are telling you that you're going to spin out if you continue to spin, then your button just presses, your finger just presses the button. That's what happens. But I'm not to do that, I am to let it run for longer. This is not going to work, BLK. I mean, I'm surprised that you didn't get hit there, but seriously. It's perfectly reasonable that you're aiming for the head, but you have to realize that I am the hammer guy, so the head is mine. Although I am surprised that there has been no KO. I was hoping that was going to be one. Damn it. Can't really hit your head there. I can try. No. Good flinch. Maybe this will be the KO. That's what I like to see. Of course, this Tigrex will have reduced health, so I don't think he's going to last much longer than this. Oh, and he's dead. Of course, as soon as he starts limping, it's on. We have to kill him before he leaves. But that didn't turn out to be much of an issue. This gin is very pleasant. What was that about? That was a Jaggy that was hiding inside the body of the Tigrex. Radio. I don't use this hammer in 3 Ultimate. Do I use... Yes, I do have a raw hammer that I... No, not really. The Grongigas hammer is not the raw hammer that I use in 3 Ultimate, technically, because I don't use it as a raw hammer. It's a good raw hammer, but the true effectiveness of the Grongigas hammer is when it is used in conjunction with Awaken to give it slime value. And that is how I use it. I never use it as a raw hammer, so maybe I don't use a raw hammer in that game. I think every time I want to... When I would, in almost any other case, use a raw hammer, I instead use that slime hammer, the Grongigas. So I don't use the Duramboros Fell Mace, as it's called here, in 3 Ultimate. I wonder how it is in G rank in... Oh, for fuck's sake. I wonder how it is in G rank in 3 Ultimate. I know that it would exist, there's no way it doesn't. It would be really cool if there were a Rust Duramboros version of the hammer that was more like an axe. Yeah. I wonder if it's worth aiming for the wings here. That's not what I intended to do at all, but it worked. It worked in the end. And there's another death. That is down to the fact that BLK is very, well, new to Greatsword. Probably cannot be attributed to anything else. Managed to roll through the attack frame of that particular side check. That side check does have pretty ridiculous range, and I mean, I was going to take a hit there. There was really nothing that I could have done. Really nothing at all. In terms of the volume of the game right now, I think it's appropriate. I could honestly raise it even further. I don't know if it's... See, I like it to be a little louder than it is right now, but only a little bit. Not much louder than this. I will raise the volume, actually. Sorry, Zerta. We need to make sure that we don't get Sand Barrioth in that trap while that tornado is up, because we're not going to be able to make use of the opportunity that we will be given under those circumstances. Now we can make use of it. I'll raise the volume just a little bit. I don't know if that made a substantial difference. Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, he's being very nice. My concern there was not that I took a hit, but it was instead the fact that I probably wouldn't be able to make use of the trap. That was very unhelpful for BLK there. But yeah, fortunately Barrioth decided to just stand in place to give me time to get in position to attack him during the trap. Which was very nice of him. He was very kindly in his considerations. I'm sorry for hitting you, I really am, but you were sort of off target anyway. So I don't feel so bad. I am at this stage trying to hit... Actually, I won't. I was going to say I am trying to hit the wings, but if a head opportunity presents itself like this, I will take it. That I can assure you. Can we get a one zone? BLK is getting in position. Oh, not even a flinch. How awful is that? Oh well. For whatever reason, BLK just uses the same greatsword in every hunt. It reminds me of Monster Hunter Tri. All of those people running around using Elatrion weapons regardless of the hunt, because it had purple sharpness. I don't think that's so appropriate in this game, but whatever. It's probably not totally inappropriate, but it's definitely not what I would be doing. Pretty well done. Pretty well done. And I'll probably carve the Rhinopolis as well. I'm actually going to do that before it despawns. Should be a double carve there. I'm doing it because, well, I'm not really anticipating that I will need Rhinopolis stuff, but if you've got a dead one right in front of you, you may as well carve it, because the worst case scenario is needing Rhinopolis stuff, not having it, and then needing to go and kill them, especially to acquire those materials, which is really annoying. I think the only way that I would need Rhinopolis materials would be for decoration crafting, for example. It's those sorts of things that you just don't think about. For example, people will go around hunting monsters that they don't think they want to make the armor or weapons of, and they will elect to not carve the monster. But they might actually need something for decoration crafting, which they hadn't considered. It's not like they've gone through all of the decorations in the game and have made a mental note of exactly what's needed for all of those. But then they're making a new set one day, and then they could have actually acquired what they needed for the decoration for that set, or one of the decorations for that set, but chose at that time not to carve the monster, and as a result they have to now, while making that new set, go and acquire the materials specially. So, waste of time if you ask me. And as I've said before, part of the enjoyment in Monster Hunter for me is amassing materials from the monsters. Whereas apparently for some people that's not really part of the enjoyment. What the fuck is that? I really don't need to see that. Okay, we're doing Raytheon apparently. That was nightmare fuel. I'll do Hammer again. I'll bring the Elatrion Metamorph. That's one of the things that I do like about the fact that Portable Third's a high-ranked game. It is that all the weapons that were in Tri have retained their names here. And that, of course, is the case for the Elatrion weapons. It's worth mentioning, though, that Alatreon didn't receive any new weapons in this game. It was only in 3 Ultimate that new weapons were made. And I think the only one was the bow. I think the bow was the only new Alatreon weapon added. They didn't add an Alatreon bow in Portable Third. I don't know why. I guess they were too lazy to do it. In my opinion, it was a mistake to not make Alatreon weapons for all weapon types. I understand why they didn't do it, because there were a lot of weapon types that were missing from the game that Alatreon originated in. But I'd love an Alatreon gun lance or hunting horn or something like that. You know, weapons like those. Basically the ones that haven't been addressed. I'd like that. Oh, thank you. I don't know why it says... So I succeeded in setting the game to Portable Third, but I did not succeed in correctly naming the stream. It's alright. What's more important is that the game is Portable Third. But thank you for that, Takashi. It only took, what, 41 minutes for someone to say something? Okay. Now that that has been fixed, we can depart on the quest. I'm glad I'm not keeping anyone waiting all on my own. Stop with the radio. Oh, never mind. That was Zerta basically teleporting to the departure area. So this is the game that got you into Monster Hunter properly. That's good. Portable Third was a real fun game when it came out, and it remains a fun game to this day. Which is why I play it. There will be certain games... there is a worthy topic of discussion to actually get on at the moment, and that is the prospect of the older games being remastered. And it seems that that is taking place, or at the very least it's starting to happen. But I do think that Portable Third will be one of the games that is just not brought back. That's what I think. So I think Portable Third will always be that game that's just left behind. I think there's a good chance that DOS will return. Well, as in, you know, receive a full release in remastered form. But I don't think Portable Third will. I don't want to mess up BLK, but quite frankly, I'm the hammer guy. So I will focus on the head. I could have actually continued with a full triple pound combo there, but I was not anticipating, and nor was I hinging my entire offensive strategy upon Raytheon flinching at that moment. Very good. Can I get the golf swing? Yes, I can. Almost looked like a death there because the camera angle changed right at that moment. You can see that Zerta is using the Tessaga longsword. That was actually the Japanese version of the Tenebra. Back in Tri, we received the Tenebra, which was an Ice Awakened longsword, an event weapon of course. But in Japan it was the, whatever it's called, Inuyasha sword, Tessaga. You poor, well, woman. But yeah, Raytheon didn't stand a chance. That was complete and utter domination. Didn't have a chance in hell of doing anything, really. At least not to me. Nicely done, though. I do prefer the single hunts, though, because I can ensure that the monster will always have proper connectivity with me, because I'm essentially... I'm hosting the room, I'm coordinating the hunts, therefore I'm always posting them, and if it's a single monster, it means that I will always be hosting that monster, which furthermore means that the monster will always have good connection to me. And that's what I seek to achieve when recording, for fairly obvious reasons. I don't need monsters glitching around while I'm recording. That's not fun for anyone. No, Takashi, Silver Athlos and Gold Raytheon were first introduced in a high-rank game, I believe, in Monster Hunter Freedom 2. I believe that Gold Raytheon and Silver Athlos first appeared in Monster Hunter G. You could technically fight them in low rank in Monster Hunter G in Freedom 1 in the village. Like the last hunt that you would do, which would give you the Shining Wyvern Blade, you could fight them in low rank technically, but I think they had high rank health and damage. And it would give you the best raw sword and shield in the game. That was in 1st gen, and then in 2nd gen, I can't speak for DOS, I just don't know what was going on with that game because I didn't play it, but I do know that Freedom 2 has high rank silver and gold, and that of course is the case in Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, because it retains all of the content of Freedom 2. Alright, let's see what our next hunt will be. No, re-rolling that one. We just did that quest. Barioth and Jade Baroth. Okay. Okay. I can do that one, says Zerta. With considerable alacrity, okay. Oh, I'm glad you're feeling like you're up for some Jade Baroth and Barioth. Alright. What am I doing? I don't want to use a hammer this time, so... I don't know. What are my other options? Switch axe. Fire switch axe. Which will be Agnoctor. The Flame Tempest. It's not the most attractive switch axe, but it functions reasonably well. So that is what I will use. You're probably right about that, Takashi. I hadn't really thought about it, but traditionally I don't think they are G-rank only. Although maybe the genesis of those monsters was a G-rank affair, in that I believe they first appeared in Monster Hunter G. Although, having said that, even though that's like the G-rank game, I don't think they were exclusive to G-rank in that game. If you know what I mean. The quest is in this list. And there it is. Now, one of the issues that you run into while playing Portable Third in the endgame... Don't splash the water around. And it turns out that I've already sat in the water, which I now recall doing. One of the issues when you're going through the Portable Third endgame is that you realise that there is definitely a lack of content. It didn't bother me when the game came out, precisely because I was playing a lot of Tri at the time, and Tri had probably half the content of this game. But with time having passed, And after I've played a whole lot more Freedom Unite, as compared to when this game came out, I obviously started with Freedom Unite, but I didn't play as much of it then as I have now. And obviously after having played 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate and even Generations Ultimate, going back to this game you do realise that there's quite a lack of content. But that is the high rank game curse. The high rank games usually have less to do. Although I will say that Generations had a lot to do, even though it was a high rank game. I can't speak for 4 Ultimate because I didn't play, well excuse me, I can't speak for Monster Hunter 4, the high rank game, because that was Japanese only and I didn't bother playing that. I did have every expectation that we were going to get the G rank release outside of Japan, so I didn't actually bother at all. And I was also deeply traumatized by the fact that a Monster Hunter game was releasing on the 3DS in the first place, so I was not in a rush to pick up 4 Ultimate either. But I eventually did get it. Like 4 months after it came out or something. I don't know what's going on with Claire. And I don't know who Claire is in the chat. I don't know why, it's probably quite obvious, maybe I've just forgotten, but... yeah. This person is well and truly AFK, I can tell you that much. Well, there's not much point. Actually, maybe it will tell me who it is. Who are you, Claire? Oh, this her person. It's alright, sometimes we need to step away from the game and take care of things. It's just good to have some forewarning. Do one without me? Well, you see, I don't like doing that because there are other people who'd like to join this room. The courteous thing to do would be to give up your spot, but... okay, if that's how you want to do it. I'm not going to throw this person out of the room, but... I don't like that. I don't know. I'm not going to call it an attitude, but... yeah. I would do things differently. Okay. Yeah, I was very excited when it was announced that Portable 3rd HD was coming to the PS3, because I obviously had a PS3, and I was expecting to get it, but then I realised that there was no reason to get it for the fairly obvious fact that the PSP version was easier to patch. There might have been a way to translate the PS3 version, but by the time Portable 3rd HD had come out on PS3, most people were playing Portable 3rd translated, with custom firmware, which is what I was doing. And I wasn't going to play on the PS3 in a language that I didn't understand. There was no reason for me to do that. It was just as I recall, compatible with Ad Hoc Party as the PSP game, but yeah. I wasn't that desperate to play the HD version, that's the point. What you're seeing right here is actually the HD version, ported to the PSP, which is a bit weird, but they actually got the HD version to work through PPSSPP before they got the regular PSP version to work. I don't really clearly recall the history of that, but that's apparently how things went down, and long story short, this is actually the HD version that you're seeing right now. I don't know if the original PSP version would look marginally worse than this if I were to emulate it. My guess is that it wouldn't, because one of the reasons why it was called an HD version was because it was releasing on a console that could handle higher resolution textures. The issue, obviously, with the game being on PSP is the PSP, not the game itself. Well, I did actually manage to get out of the way of that. But unfortunately, he changed directions and pulled me into his attack. BLK is apparently of the mind to solo the Barioth with a Dragon Greatsword. As you wish. If you can imagine what I think about it, then you have your answer. Well, I did try it. I did try Monster Hunter Rise, but the only reason... I really did have to do some soul-searching as to whether or not I wanted to sell the game. But I decided that I wouldn't sell it. I have no intention of ever loading it into my Switch ever again, and I had made that decision about a week after it came out, but I don't think I'll sell it. Well, obviously, if I was going to sell it, I would have done it by now, but... yeah, there's just something about it. I felt like I had to keep it to immortalize my purchase, to have some sort of physical record of the money that I wasted. I was going to have to try the game, no matter what, so I guess it's not wasted money, but still. In other words, I would have bought it just to try it, no matter what, but... yeah. I regret not the fact that I purchased it, but rather the fact that it wasn't worth purchasing. That's what I will say. And thank you, Takashi, for the summary. It saves me from going into an excessive disquisition about it. Managed to get under the tail there, that was rather nicely done. And I will, for a change, do an elemental burst. I'm literally two-manning this monster with a guy that's using a hunting horn, for God's sake. Why can't we just three-man? How hard is that? If you want to play solo, just play by yourself. That's what I have to say to that. I've never been a person who just solos one of multiple monsters in a hunt when I'm playing with 4 people. I just don't see the point. I actually set those videos to private, Takashi. The reason why is because they were some of my most viewed Monster Hunter videos, and I just didn't want Rise content on my channel. I think I've still got the demo stuff on my channel and my first impressions. Actually, maybe I don't have the demo stuff on my channel, but I do have my first... in fact, yeah, I removed those too, or set them to private, but I kept my first impressions of the announcement that I recorded at like 2 in the morning with a whiskey companion. But yeah, it felt totally wrong to have those on my channel. I didn't want it to be there. It felt like it was just, I don't know, it's difficult to describe. Didn't feel right. Ugh. We'll see if BLK is killed by the Barioth. That would be pretty funny if that happened. Death number 3. Also it would be. I will reload my Switch axe. I'm not sharpening up to blue because in a high rank game, green sharpness is still alright. It's fine. You wouldn't go below that, obviously, but green sharpness I can live with. And for G rank games, I set blue as my lowest. So therefore, if blue is fine in G rank, green is fine in high rank. That's the way I've always done it. Starting with this game, really. That was a nice flinch. Sadly, bounced off the head there. There's a lot of people going backwards from World. A lot of people. I think because for those people, Monster Hunter in the 5th generation hasn't held them in place. Capcom has failed in what they set out to do, because I know that what they set out to do was to hold the audience... they wanted to hold the audience's attention on 5th generation such that they wouldn't look backwards. That's why it was rebooted. But now, because 5th generation has basically failed to keep people interested, people are starting to wonder about all the other stuff that they had been ignoring for all this time. And they're going backwards to find that it's actually good stuff. At least the people who are open enough to try it. The people who aren't open enough to try it are probably people who wouldn't enjoy it if they played it, because they're not, I don't know, mentally flexible enough to handle what old Monster Hunter is. So... oh my god. Couldn't even get that sharpen taken care of. But yeah, most of the people... well, not, I shouldn't say most of the people. There's probably a good percentage of people playing Generations Ultimate at the moment who played Rise first. And they got bored of Rise and decided to look for something else, something more. And they went to Generations Ultimate, and some of them are going back from, or backwards from there. Whether or not that's a good thing, I couldn't say. I'm not really going to have an opinion on it. But it's better than them continuing to play 5th gen. They'll never stop playing 5th gen, I guess, but at least they're informing themselves as to what real Monster Hunter is. And they can develop their preferences based on that. The people who started in 5th gen will always have a soft spot for it because it's what they started with, but... yeah. I think the word you're looking for is definitive, not penultimate. Penultimate is a different term, with a different meaning. We'll see what's... oh, never mind. For some reason I thought that Zerta had actually teleported to where BLK was. But no. I don't know why I misunderstood that for a moment. But yeah, 3 Ultimate is really good. It's, in my opinion, the best. And I've gone into fairly lengthy discussions about that. But like any Monster Hunter game, it does have its flaws. Some of them quite considerable. The biggest flaws, really, are the charm table system and the slime system. Those two things are fucking terrible. Absolutely retarded. Well, particularly the charm table system. I don't know what Capcom were doing with the charm table, but, oh, there you go. Just try to get a kill. I think we can manage it. Can we? Well, we're not too far away from a dead Barrioth, long story short. But yeah, 3 Ultimate is the game. I said this fairly recently as well. 3 Ultimate has a lot of stuff that no other game has. Unless we're talking about Tri as well. But 3 Ultimate has a lot that's unique. It has a lot to offer on its own that other games don't have. We're talking about a series where so many monsters and so many things were reused that returning to older games sometimes will have you experiencing the same shit. but in a more primitive way, I guess, is how the 5th gen players would interpret it. But in the case of 3 Ultimate, there's a lot of stuff there that's just not anywhere else. And that is why 3 Ultimate is probably the best game to go backwards to. It's just not that open for people. It's not an easy option because it's on the Wii U. Not many people want to go and purchase a Wii U, but a lot of people have been doing that. As far as I'm aware, there are people who have been purchasing Wii U's for that game. I would guarantee that 3 Ultimate is probably the only thing that would, today, cause people to go out and get a Wii U. Let's say, for example, that there can be a measurement of recent Wii U sales. I would guarantee that most of those sales, and none of them would link to Nintendo because they're not being manufactured by Nintendo anymore, but which is why you'd never get a number. But if you could do that, I'd guarantee most of the recent Wii U purchases have been for 3 Ultimate. Because why else would you get a Wii U now? 3 Ultimate's one of those games it's actually worth getting a Wii U for. And while you're at it, you may as well play the remastered Zelda games too. I don't know if we've still got that other person. What is this fucking terrible... I mean, this is what happens when you don't know how to send a screenshot. You take a blurry fucking photo of something. What is that? It's the worst attempt at a screenshot I've ever seen. I mean, you can't call it a screenshot, but... it's supposed to achieve the same thing. That is, demonstrating to us what's on their screen. But it's not working very well, because I can't read any of it. Anyway. Got my 115th Wyvern Stone. I don't think I got that many Wyvern Stones in try after 2,300 hours. Yeah, on one character at least. I did do more than 2,300 across multiple characters, but my main one was 2,300 hours. In that length of time, I did not get that many Wyvern Stones in try. I probably got like 50, if even that. Probably not even that. So, yeah, a bit of a stark contrast. I don't know what's going on with Claire. Let's see if Claire is alive. I will start with a random hunt. Single Rathalos isn't very exciting, but if that's what I've been given, then that's what I'll do. Do I want to use a hammer again? Not really. It's almost the same experience as what I did last time. Hammering a Raytheon. With the Eladriel Metamorph. Is that my... Really? This thing is my dragon hunting horn of choice in this game. Oh, and it actually has attack boost large. I won't use it though. There's already another guy going hunting horn, unless he's gone and changed, but... You know what I'll do? I'll go greatsword, but I'll use the true cutter sword. This is what the Lion's Bane was in Japan. In Tri, we got Lion's Bane, and then for the Japanese community, they got this, which is much nicer in my opinion. But in terms of how it functions, like stats-wise, same weapon. Just a different visual appearance. Where is Rathalos? We could just do Rathalos and Raytheon, maybe that would be more fun. But, single Rathalos is apparently tier 2 here. which is a bit weird. He should be tier 3. But I suppose it's not actually consistent across all games. Well, even regular Tigrex didn't make it into 3 Ultimate, which is one unfortunate part of that game. One thing that I wish they had added. But still, 3 Ultimate's good fun. 3 Ultimate doesn't need Tigrex. But it would definitely benefit with Tigrex. That's for sure. What's going on? Oh. Effie is BLK. I'm actually going to ask Rumi if he wants to hunt. Rumi is poor AF in the chat. This is the point where I have to try and keep the room together. I think I've got 1 AFK person. I've lost 1 person. So, we'll see how things go. Oh, looks like Rumi's gonna play. Rumi is someone that I've been playing Portable Third with for the last 3 years, more or less, on Hunsterverse. But I haven't played with him recently. Actually, I did play with him sort of recently, but not for very long. So it'd be good to get him on camera again. This is a very awkward bottle to pour from because obviously the width of it, I mean that angle is just ridiculous. Back before the random hunt command was done, or brought into the server, we used to just do random stuff that we would select, you know, we'd find random stuff that we thought would be fun and we'd do that, but it's a lot nicer to actually have it selected for you, at least in my opinion. That's why I enjoy joining turns rooms where people post their own thing, because I'm not the one posting it. It's more enjoyable that way. If you have to choose yourself what you're going to do, for some reason it's not as fun. That is if you don't have something specific that you need to do. The weapon wheel. Fortunately I don't have to do that, because again, if you can see this here, Doom K, who is not me by the way, this is just someone who has a very... this person's name is Doom Knight, which has been shortened to Doom K. That is not me. But, and quite frankly, you probably thought it was me, if you weren't watching clearly. But, yeah, this here actually has given Doom K, Doom Knight I guess I'll call him, the bow to use. So I don't need the weapon wheel here, fortunately. So Misao is Rumi. And I don't know what the fuck Claire is doing. At this stage, Claire is just being a blight on my room, because... yeah. This person has taken a slot because they didn't want to give it to someone else while they were AFK. I mean, it's inconsiderate is what it is. I'm going to say 2 slots available. Looks like Doom K wants to play, so that's 1. Because at this rate we'll probably end up departing with 3 because this person just wants to obviously take up the slot while remaining AFK. Which would be fine if the room were not in high demand. It was in high demand previously. Maybe those people have since moved on, but yeah. I would actually rather Claire be removed, because I don't want to be 3-manning everything. Roggy in the Canyon is a Hunsterverse custom DLC quest, which is just truly ridiculous. When I first did it, I actually started laughing out loud. I thought it was hilarious. I'll tell you what the quest is. I mean, I would never demonstrate it because I have no desire to do it ever again, but basically you start off in the Acantor arena that is unique to Portable Third, and you're just hunting this great Roggy. It's just normal, and then you obviously kill it because it's easy. And then, you know, you're hanging around waiting for it to despawn, and then when it despawns, 2 Elatrions fly down side by side, and it's ridiculous. You're like, okay, well I've killed this Roggy, now what? And 2 Elatrions fly down. I abandoned at that point. I was like, no, I don't think so. And the quest is called Roggy in the Canyon. So, absolutely no indication that there is 2 Elatrions to be killed in the quest. I don't know where Doomk is, but yeah, I sure did. I do apologise for the downtime, but it has to happen eventually, doesn't it? When we're reforming the room. It's important to advertise one's room. That's how you get people in. You can see Ocean is having a considerably learned conversation about absolutely nothing, which is of no benefit to anyone, but that's sort of what he does. He sits in the Portable Third channel and discusses things with a level of eloquence that is not in any way helpful to anyone, because most of the people in this channel don't speak a lick of English. So, there you go. Oh, it's Yells. Here we go. I'll try to get him on. I don't know where Doomk ended up. At this rate, I would be willing to have someone join instead of him. Because he's taking a long time and he's not giving me updates on his progress. What shocks me is that this person has the temerity to go AFK for this long in my room without being willing to give up their slot to someone else. Like, I will have to forcefully remove this person because they are so profoundly inconsiderate. Fuck off. There's been this joke going around where people just type shabu, which is cocaine, in various languages. They just type the word as if it's funny on its own. It's really not. But that is essentially the way meme culture has evolved, or in this case, devolved. It's just gotten worse and worse. Apparently you can just say a word that has no real meaning beyond it just being a drug. I mean, it's like me just typing in the chat, heroin. 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 Okay. Is there any nuanced humour in that? No. The thing with a meme, a good meme always, well, not even a good meme, a meme always has at least two meanings. Like, there's a double meaning. Sometimes you got three. But if there's literally one meaning, and you're just sending it in the chat, I mean, it achieves nothing. It's not funny, it's pathetic. That's what it is. I'm not going to go on a rant about it, but that's how it is. I haven't removed Claire because, quite frankly, no one's here to take his or her spot, so they can stay there for the moment. Well, Doomk has gone absent without leave, and Rumi's now somewhere. Don't know where Rumi is. Oh, here's Darksu. Here we go. Rumi hasn't actually gone anywhere. He's probably checking his farm or something. Alright, now we've got Darksu. I'm not really holding out hope for Doomk to end up in the... Oh, thank you for that. What show is that again? I have watched that. It's an OVA, I think. From the mid to late 2000s, as I recall. That's someone readying up. Who's that? Rumi. Fuck, stop that shit. It's so disgusting. See my guild hall. Vote to kick Claire. Just making sure that that is the name that I would use to kick with. And again, I don't think Doom K is turning up at any point. So at this stage, we've got one slot available. Dark Sue is coming, eventually. And, yeah. Obviously departing when Dark Sue turns up for the reason that we've been sitting here waiting for long enough already. Oh, Doom K actually made it in. What the fuck? Is he insane? Is he insane? He's going to take like 10 to 15 minutes to join without saying anything that whole time. I can't believe I can only assume that he was expecting that I wouldn't have given the spot to someone else or departed on a quest because, you know, why would you do that otherwise? It's pure luck that he managed to get in the room. Seriously. It just happened to be that no one else got the spot. Because, yeah, I mean, he said that he was coming and then he just disappeared for ages and never said anything. Now he's finally here, my god. Biggest setup time for a single Rathalos ever. But here we are. Have I eaten? Bloody hell. Lighter is Dark Sue, by the way. Obviously the irony of that should be clear. And here's Doom K. It is very funny that he's basically got my name, but, you know, 3 letters subtracted from it. I've never come across that before, I must assure you. So I can see that Doom K is using the Black Rex sword. Not something that I see often. Oh, I think Dark Sue wants to access the box. I'm happy to give you a chance to do that. Or you might just be standing there out of pure coincidence. Or as a matter of pure coincidence. Alright, let's go and hunt a Rathalos with a true cutter sword. I apologise for how long that took, but it's outside of my control. The amount of downtime that you guys are going to have to deal with, that's just a matter of where the, well, how do I say it? It is purely chance-based, there you go. And I'll do a charge attack on the face for the turnaround. Or the neck. The neck works fine. The sound effects of this sword being swung is great. I love it. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it at any point during this hunt, but it's lovely. In terms of how the weapon functions, it's 247 raw, with, I think, a little bit of white sharpness and a moderate amount of blue, yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's a fine weapon. It's definitely not the best for raw. I would say the Diablo's Horn Sword beats it out, but at least this setup allows the weapon to function well. I do enjoy the way it looks, so I do use it over the Diablo's Horn Sword on occasion, but if I'm wanting to deal the best damage with a raw greatsword, I will use the Diablo's Horn Sword with my standard greatsword setup. My paintball was stolen and has not been returned, so if that Melinx really wants that paintball, he can have it. Yeah, it looks like he's going to... Oh no. Unfortunately, he will not be keeping that paintball today. I really didn't need it back. He could have had it, but he died, so... Too bad. Broke something, probably the wing. Actually, that might have been the head. Thought it was something I had done. It could have only been the wing if it was something I had done. Of course, in the case of a gun lance such as the one Rumi is using, it's actually better to seek to attack with the weapon as much as possible, to apply poison, as opposed to shelling and such. So full combos into heavy shell is the best way to approach that. He has flown over there. I believe, yeah, he has. Without a doubt. That is the wing broken, the second wing. Oh, I did mean to turn a bit to the left there, but I failed in doing so. I do usually bring dragon weapons to this hunt, but I didn't feel like using a dragon greatsword, if you can forgive me. What I specifically felt like using was the true cutter sword, because it's cool. Oh, damn it. Flinches are sometimes good, and then other times they completely ruin your strategy because it is an unforeseen movement on the part of the monster that can sometimes have you out of range. Damn it. Oh well. I shouldn't have been greedy. Should have just gone for the level 2. I just thought that maybe the tail would miss me. Did not intend to leave the area. That would be a pretty fucking nice knockdown if I managed that. Sadly, I did not. Maybe if it were on the head, it would have worked, but... May as well be ambitious. Oh, why am I doing that as if I'm going to be affected by the roar? Settling for a small charge as if I'm about to be flinched. When Rathalos is weak, he will fly to Area 6. I believe that's the number. I know where he flies, it's just I'm not 100% sure on the area numbers anymore. I don't keep them in mind. Some people learn the area numbers very quickly. I have just never paid attention to them, so... It is Area 6, but... yeah. It's interesting, some people do learn the area numbers almost immediately. Whereas I can play the game for years and years and just not know them. I guess it's just not a focus. I'm glad the tail couldn't hit me there. That would have been really annoying. Can you please die now? I do think it's time. Here I am thinking it's first or second gen. Where if the Rathalos is flying down, he's definitely going to land right there so that I can hit his head. See, the monsters became less predictable in 3rd generation. Very much so. They became less predictable, and they were harder to take advantage of aggressively. Alright, catch you later, Kodoku. And thanks for staying until almost 5 AM. But yeah, it's just so funny how people complained about 3rd generation and the changes that were made. Okay, so it's so easy, yet you used to completely abuse the predictability of the monsters and the fact that you could trap them endlessly without diminishing returns and flash them endlessly without diminishing returns. Like, they don't even hear themselves when they make these complaints. Alrighty. That's that taken care of. Apparently Fuzz is incensed by the community. He claims that there's no engagement. Well, I can't play with Deputy. We'll get the next hunt on the go. Jen Moran. I'm willing. The flesh and the spirit is willing. Alright, what shall I use for this? Hammer. I don't often hammer Jen Moran on camera. I mean, I have done it, but not all the time. I recently did it off camera. But I need to get some hammer uses, so... Almost there with Greatsword, getting there with hammer. Getting there, I suppose, with Switch Axe and Heavy Bowgun. I'm not sure why Heavy Bowgun has been one of the last weapons for me to get a high number of uses with, but I just haven't used it all that much in this game. I just really prefer whatever it's called, light bowgun and bow. Hey, potato. Yeah, I don't think... There are a lot of people who really don't like Jen in this community. I'm a big fan of Jen Moran. Big supporter. And I'm always willing to do a Jen Moran hunt. And there are people... I've said this many times before, there are people who feel the same way about Lao Shan Lung, and I do not. I definitely do not feel that way about that monster. Every time I fight, I just mixed hunt and fight into fun. Aside from that, whenever I want to hunt, or whenever I have to hunt Lao Shan Lung, it is done very nearly under duress. So I do it because I need it, not because I want it. Usually. And it was better in Generations Ultimate than it was in the older games. Imagine having to fight Lao Shanlang in 1st gen, 2nd gen, then 4th gen again. Go away. Bugger off. Who has time for that? Certainly not me. Certainly not me. Fun conversation. Looks like Claire has returned. I'll keep an eye on this discussion. I mean, the discussion is blossoming into something that resembles drama. But, yeah, I'll keep an eye on things. If it gets out of hand, I'll try to shut everyone up, but... yeah. I'm basically tasked with maintaining order in that channel, which is... it's not really something that you approach in the same way as other channels. In the Freedom Unite channel, it's fairly easy to maintain order, because they're actually reasonably well behaved these days. Portable Third... they just talk about dicks and titties all day. And you just have to make an allowance for that. Yeah, it's very good, potato. Okay. I'm pretty sure I did rest in the water and drink a beverage. I did it entirely subconsciously, but I'm assuming it was done. I hope it was done. Yes, it was. Did I drink a drink as well? Yes, I did. Drink a drink. That's why I said drink a beverage before. Consume a beverage. Just don't say the same word twice. You can do better than that, Doomlink. At least you should be able to. Oh. Bit of an audio glitch there. Actually, it was more like emulator slowdown there. You could see that there was an audio and visual issue that, as far as I can tell, appertained to an emulator hiccup. Why am I not surprised that the new Call of Duty game brought back fucking Dome from World at War? I'm not surprised at all. That is my least favourite map in that game. But everyone else loves it because it's just this shit fight. This fast-paced shit fight. Ugh. It's even worse in the new one. Okay. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. I really shouldn't be. It really is a measure of the quality of the community that the vast majority of them enjoy that kind of gameplay. Just complete chaos. It's worse on PC though, because you can have as many as, I believe, 44 people at one time in Dome. I'm assuming it's a maximum of 12 in the new Call of Duty, which is how it should be. But obviously with the nature of the old server setup, with the older games, you can have as many as 44 people. So, it's a max of 44 in the new one too. Great. So, a complete and utter return to pure chaos and misery and stupidity in Dome. But 13 years later. Great. Anyway. And Doom Cave breaks off. after taking... Actually, no, he was here for the Rathalos hunt, but yeah. He took so long to get into the frickin' room, and now he's broken off during a gen hunt. We'll be alright, we'll still complete this pretty quickly. Although it's strange to see Urumi using the schisms. I don't know if the schisms are a good choice for this quest. I don't know if Jen is that weak to dragon. He is weak to dragon, that is his primary weakness of course, but you only use the schisms when you're going up against a very considerable dragon weakness. And I don't think Jen's weak enough to... I mean, I'm sure if you did it in the mouth, you know, did a bit of demon dancing in the mouth, you could probably do a lot of damage, but not sure about that weapon choice. Urumi doesn't really go for... Urumi is, by the way, Misao. Sorry for the upswinging. Oh, need to get off. Don't fucking flinch me, guys. Seriously, I almost got fucking killed. Well, not killed, hit. And sadly, given the timing, the movement of the gen prevented me from jumping onto the boat. These guys are fucking dumb. No offense, but really. I'm trying to jump off the damn gen so that I'm not hit. These guys are flinching me in place. But yeah, Misao in the game is Urumi. I don't want there to be any confusion. Basically, guy with Japanese name is Urumi. And yeah. What I was saying was that he doesn't really equip the most effective weapons. He's just here to have fun. Basically. That landed in the sand instead of making contact with the monster, which was not quite what I was seeking to achieve. How did that miss? Okay. If you say so. Some people bind, some people gong. I don't do either for this particular attack because I don't see it to be necessary, so I don't bother with it. Unfortunately, neither of them bother with it either. Don't you dare upswing me, Dark, so I'll kill you. I don't think he's that type of switch axe player, but he would face my wrath if he were to upswing me in this situation. I can assure him of that. If you end up... you can actually end up being pulled under the boat slightly if you stand in the wrong place with those tusks. The best thing to do while the tusks are lowering into the boat in the way that they just were, the best thing to do is just standing away from them. That is the best course of action. I'm not mining. If I wanted Bathosite ore, I would mine, but I don't want that, so I'm not. I'm also not hurting for Gen Moran materials. I think last time I was playing Portable 3rd we were doing Gen Moran there as well, so it's always good to do a bit of Gen Moran. He's my big sand whale. We go back a long way. Not a whole lot going on over there. Oh, I see. He lowered himself again. I was wondering what Jen was doing. Oh, he's going to raise the back tail. The back tail? He doesn't have a front tail, so I don't know why I'm identifying it as the back tail, but anyway. If anything, it was me being unsure as to whether to refer to it as his back or his tail. You would definitely refer to it as his tail, And that is what he was raising. He didn't do that in Try. This was the first game where he did that. Just added an element of difficulty to the fight, I suppose. By the way, if you do the spinning maneuver, you can actually fall into, so with the hammer here, if you're doing the spin, and Jen is swinging his body, you can actually fall inside Jen, like fall through the monster, and end up in the sand. It's pretty funny. It's annoying, obviously, if you don't want to be thrown in the sand, but yeah. Am I going to be hit? Yes, I am, but that's alright. I made it on the boat, and so did Darksuit. Oh god. Showed him falling past the boat there. We probably will be given a Dragonator opportunity. I don't think we've done that much damage to him. Oh no, apparently we've done that much damage to him. No Dragonator. Very well. Isn't it refreshing to find a Gemmaran that doesn't just rise out of the sand awkwardly, like he does in 3 Ultimate? There's another issue with 3 Ultimate. The fact that the final showdown is glitched out, and it just shows Jen rising out of the fucking sand. Looks really stupid. It didn't look like that in this game or in Try. Which is why I describe it as a glitch. Do I have high-grade earplugs? I do. Silly Doomlink, there's no Rocksteady in this game. And you're definitely not going to be running around with regular earplugs. That's not your style. Oh god. I don't know if there's a risk of killing Genmaran outside the carve area. I don't think there is, but we could be doing a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage. We might be able to kill him before the 15-minute mark, but we'll see how things go. You can see that the texture on the arm here is about the same as the level of quality of the texture in 3 Ultimate, which is one of the issues with 3 Ultimate as well. It is the fact that it is a portable game ported to the Wii. It doesn't have the Try texture resolutions. That's one of the other issues with it. Oh. That was a bit awkward. I wouldn't say that I prefer the endgame monsters of Portable Third to the ones of 3 Ultimate. I prefer monsters like Lucent Nagakuga, Dire Moralis, to monsters like Amatsu Magatsuchi, and although I do enjoy being able to fight a Cantor and Ukanlos, but I don't need them, you know. Just because a game doesn't have them doesn't make it a worse game, because then that fits into the, well, the thing that I decry about the community, which is that they're always wanting monsters to be brought into the game over and over and over again. Oh, new Monster Hunter game, let's bring those same monsters back. Of course, I understand the appeal, you want to fight the same monster but in a new engine. But unfortunately, that's lovely. I effectively achieved nothing there. But yeah, I mean, I understand the appeal of fighting the same monster but in a new engine, but you have to allow the series to evolve. And you also have to allow the older games to have something unique to offer in the future. Because otherwise there's no reason to go back to them. Well, there is a reason. There are always reasons to go back to the older games, which is why I go back to them, but don't strip them of their uniqueness by bringing the same monsters back constantly. And he's dead. I think we should be able to carve everything. That was a pretty good final hit, though, I have to admit. I don't know what Rumi got hit by. He's probably not carving anyway. Well, fair enough, Takashi. I prefer those fights in 3 Ultimate because they are unique. All of those monsters are only in 3 Ultimate. Whereas Amatsu Magatsuchi was brought back, and obviously Akantor and Ukanlos are basically mainstays since 2nd Gen. So... I never felt that way about Daimaralis at all. It felt like my first chance to fight a 3rd generation Fatalis, so I enjoyed it. Well, it remains my only chance to fight a 3rd generation Fatalis. I just mean, you know, an updated version of whatever I was doing in 2nd generation. You know, to be honest, one of the reasons why I probably have a soft spot for Daimaralis that you don't have, Takashi, is because I was so used to fighting 2nd gen Fatalis that Daimaralis, by comparison... Uh-oh. That's my controller disconnecting briefly. Daimaralis, by comparison, was just such a nicer hunt. I'm always getting Earth Dragon gems from this thing. Or so it feels. Disgusting. Oh, Tiananmen. Oh no! I'm banned in China. Officially. Thanks, Tiananmen. Fuck. Alright. Doomlink banned in China. I'm not doing Puppy Fight. Puppy Fight is a DLC quest, a Hunsterverse DLC quest, that is basically... What is that? What is this? It's supposed to be Kirby, isn't it? That's disgusting. Oh, that's fucking scary. Anyway, no. Puppy Fight is Akantor and Ukanlos together at the same time in the Amatsu Magatsuchi arena. I'm not doing that. Random hunt. It's not a terrible hunt. It's just... Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Let's actually do it, because I haven't done it in ages and I haven't recorded it before. I generally don't do it because there was a period in time when a lot of people were wanting to do that quest. It's basically the best quest to grind talismans in this game. It's not an official quest, obviously, but... In other words, it's not Capcom official. It's a custom quest, but... You know. It's very good for getting talismans because it's a difficult quest to do. Do I want to use a gun? Or what do I want to do? Maybe bow. What would be appropriate? I know what would be appropriate. Pierce bow. Black Diablos. Bow. Sarah Coilbender. Yeah. That's what we want. That's not actually going to be contributing to my weapon uses. Well, it's contributing to it, but not... It's not going to be contributing to the weapons that I want to have increased uses with. But yeah. Yeah, it's not an official quest. It's quite ridiculous, but... What is this Tiananmen guy doing? Stop it. Go away. Who was it? Did Doom K lose his spot? I don't know who lost their spot. Apparently Tiananmen's gone now. He's been censored. And, yeah, so I need to go into event quests. It's in high rank. I've actually got it. These here, see, Merry Christmas, Hunsterverse, Storm in the Desert, these are all... And there's World Eater as well, from Monster Hunter Tri, but... when you do this quest, you don't want to save, because it's not possible to fight a Deviljho that's this big in Portable Third. So if you save, you'll basically have a Gold Crown-sized Deviljho in your records that's not available in the game normally. So, I mean, if you don't mind that, then sure, but I don't want that in my history, or on my records. Puppy fight. Why it's called that, I've got no idea. I've never understood that. It was added to Hunsterverse about, I would say, late 2018 to early 2019. I'm going to guess something like, maybe, yeah, mid-November of 2018 probably, so I'd say it's been around for about 3 years. And it's, yeah, an interesting quest, but not something that I want to do all the time. But I may as well show it off. It's pretty ridiculous, as I'm sure you can imagine. Well, I'm sure it's a reference to dogfighting, but as far as... I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to be ironic. Like, oh, they're actually really difficult monsters, but we're calling them puppies. I don't know. Dark Sue is running Hunting Horn, which is a fair choice. Doomy is going Gunlance, which I was considering doing, but I thought bow would be more fun. Of course, the issue here is negotiating the second monster while trying to hunt the first. We need to establish which one we want to aim for. Puppy with bow, yeah, that's normal. Nothing wrong with that. We just need to make sure that we're all aiming for the same one. I mean, it would make sense to start with a Cantor. Who is the most annoying to keep alive? Yeah, Cantor was always first, that makes sense. What the fuck is that? Is that a rabbit? It's a fucking rabbit. It's a stunned rabbit and then it wakes up and jumps at the camera. That's fucking freaky. Anyway. I didn't really need to see that. It's stupid. What the fuck? Now there's like some guy kissing a rat and then it bites his face. The fuck? Why is the question? Why do I need to see that? Oh my god. Who was the other person again? Was it Doom K? Is he coming back? I don't know if he's coming back. Should I ask if he's coming back and then wait for 10 minutes for him to turn up? Are you hunting? Did I finish Breath of the Wild? No. I got to a point where I had done everything before fighting Ganon, and I wanted to deal with side quests, but I still haven't gotten around to doing that because I needed to take a break from Breath of the Wild, and I still don't feel like playing it. So, there you go. I'm basically in the end game. But yeah, I haven't played it in months. It's probably been 7 or 8 months. Stop posting GIFs. I've told them to stop. Because it's not a meme channel, it's a hunting discussion channel. I could warn him on that, because I already gave a verbal warning, but... yeah. So I think Doomk's coming. Or is his... no, his ping's fine, stable for the moment. I don't want a solo puppy. Well, you're not going to unless you disconnect. Don't expect to disconnect. Oh dear. Heathcliff specifically wants to get a Rathalos Ruby, then farm a Cantor. He needs to find a group that wants to do exactly that. Right. This room here. How long have I been live for? 2 hours and 6 minutes? I might have this be the last hunt. I mean, waiting for Doomk is probably not worth it. I'd have a better chance of getting a 4th person just by appealing to the chat to see if anyone wants to hunt. That would probably conclude, like as a process, that would conclude faster and sooner than getting Doomk to join. Despite the fact that he's already part of the room. Or part of the group in the room. Bloody hell. Wrong person. I don't want to 3-man this quest. I don't need a peepo sad face. You've got stable ping, we've established this, man. Well, now it's not stable anymore. But apparently it's still good connection. No, apparently. Yeah, this will be a long hunt, by the way. It's probably going to be a 30-minute affair. Yep. We got Orsted, which is good. Get 4 bamboos and you're done in 15. Oh god. Of course, Rumi's referring to the shelling gun lance of the game. It's basically the portable 3rd equivalent to the popcorn. Shall I bring bamboo then? No, I probably won't. Oh, I see. Darksu was using Hunting Horn. That's why he was considering changing. I would actually encourage him to change, even if we're hunting with 4. Because... well, unless he's got a... what is his Hunting Horn? Okay, it's... well, I don't know about the choice of element, but I can say at the very least that the attack up large would be helpful, but I think he's changing to bamboo now. If he's changing to bamboo, then I might too. And Rumi might be doing so as well. If everyone's changing to bamboo, then I'll change to bamboo. We can just bamboo the whole fucking quest. I don't mind. It's going to be a bit messy. We're going to have to try and not mess each other up. But it sounds like fun. Definitely sounds like fun. Bamboo, here we go. Alright. I am content to do that. Alright. I don't know if Orsted will use bamboo, but we'll see. You can basically see which ones are unofficial DLC and which ones are official because the official ones are Japanese. Some people have their DLC quests translated. I don't have them translated. Artillery King load up, gun +2, speed sharpening, razor sharp. I've just gone with, oh, jeez. That's a better set than mine for sure. What have I got that he doesn't? So he doesn't have sharpness +1, but he's got 2 sharpness based skills. So basically he's got what I have, except I haven't gone for... He's gone for guard +2 instead of guard up. I would say that both of our sets are about as good as each other, but just in a different way. Oh, I think I've already... Oh, I haven't consumed a beverage. If I could enunciate. I will take Defender High for very good reason. There's no guarantee that I'll get it, but I'll hope that I get it. I got it. Fucking bamboo team. Now, where's Orsted? I don't know how this is going to work. I feel like we're just going to be messing each other up. The monsters are pretty big, but yeah. I had a feeling that you were watching the live stream, Rumi, but now I think it's quite clear because you have been responding to things that I've said in the live stream that were never said in chat, so yeah. No, but I very much like your set, but I mean, we've made our sets with the same goal in mind. It's just we've taken different routes to reach that goal. That's really how things have been done. Speaking of the Gaia's Might, I still haven't made that because I need whatever it is. Monster Broth. I don't have Monster Broth and I need to... it's not hard to get, of course. You just go and do a Gigi quest, or perhaps a Tundra Gathering quest. In other words, Harvest Tour. And just kill Gigi. That's the easiest way to get it, but in other words, the way to get it by employing the least amount of effort, but I still can't bring myself to do that, so I don't have the Gaia's Might, which is basically the standard raw gun lance of the game. It looks kind of similar to the Undertaker. The... whatever you call it. The Rusted Lance? Yeah, that thing. Still need to get rid of my Greatsword Flare. I regret having selected it. This thing here. I don't think Zach has yet implemented the ability to remove flares. I don't really want to talk about flares, actually. I don't want to get started on that conversation. It's a Hunsterverse specific subject, which may or may not be of interest to those watching, or at least not to all watching, and Quite frankly, I could get on a real rant about how it was a bad idea. But anyway. This has been a very long setup time, but my hope is that the quest won't take too long if we're all running bamboo. That is what I'm hoping. We'll see how things go. So, Sniper Mask, everyone's got different names. Like, I'm referring to Emanon, or Emanon in the chat, as Orsted. So he's got the name Orsted, Emanon, and Sniper Mask. I mean, can we all just have the same names in-game as what's on Discord? It's so confusing. Anyway. It is a bit too much to ask, really. No one seems to do that in Hunsterverse. Everyone needs like 10 different names. But yeah, I do stress that this quest is not an official quest. But it should be fun all the same. Or perhaps not. Oh. Off we go. Glacial Kings? Oh fuck, I posted the wrong one. I posted the wrong one. I'm an idiot. I posted the wrong one. I was going through the list, right, when I reposted. Anyway. After all that setup time, I posted the wrong one. I posted the correct one first, obviously, but yeah, I was looking at the monsters that were there instead of the quest itself. I don't even remember how that one works. What is that one? Hold on. Glacial Kings. Oh, it's... wait. Glacial Kings. Oh, it's the fucking Ukanlos and Glacial Agnator. Of course, we're doing this one. Oh, I apologize for that. God. It's a perfect way to waste our time. This time I had Defender High before, I don't have it anymore, so now I'm worse off than I was before. Which is fucking great. But it's all my fault, so I can't complain. Suck it up, Doomlink. Suck it up. Take 2. Assuming that's the name of the role. Have to put a hyphen in there annoying. Alright, let's do it. This time, we're doing the correct quest. Not... I think... Is it a giant glacial Agnator with Ukanlos? I think it is. That's the one we were doing before, I believe, but this one is the correct one. Do we have items in here? Oh, we've got that stuff. I don't really have anything to buff myself, so let's go in there and do it. Starting with a Cantor. Oh god. Okay. Great. I really should start with Wyvern Fire. Who's hosting the Acantor? It feels like the Acantor is the dodgy one. The one that's sort of glitching a bit, you can see. I mean, how ridiculous is that? Anyway. And then you've got this lava effect in this location. Oh no, how did I get hit by that? Nightmarish. I just had to ensure that I was far enough away from the monster before trying to break free of Snowblight there. I can only assume that that attack that Carlos is doing there would harm a Cantor. I hope that that's the case. You couldn't really see that, but I did just perform a Wyvern Fire. Well, you saw me begin the Wyvern Fire, but I don't think you saw the actual... Well, you definitely didn't see the actual animation complete. Oh my god. I can't see anything. Oh, and there goes Darksu. No, this is not okay. I'm fucking Snowblighted. Get away from me. That is not the time for me to be dealing with a charging Acantor. Definitely not. See, those fire geysers must be doing something to Ukanlos. That's what I'm hoping. It would make sense, wouldn't it? It's just... Acantor and Ukanlos are never supposed to be in a room with any other monster. But I'm assuming that if it deals damage to the hunter, it can deal damage to a monster. I don't think it has to be specifically coded that it can harm a monster. I think it's just the overall logic of the game dictates that if it can harm a hunter, it can harm a monster, so... yeah. They should be harming each other, that's the point. It's been at least 2 years since I've done this quest, probably more like 2.5. Possibly even 3, I don't know how long it's been, but... yeah, I only did this for a short time when it first came out and then stopped doing it because it's just, you know, it's a long time to spend doing a quest and it's a bit silly as well, but... yeah. I will sharpen up here. Please don't. At least I managed to complete my sharpen. That's one good thing. I'm a bit far away from everyone because I'm having to deal with sharpening and Snowblight and all that. To take this as a Wyvern Fire opportunity, there you go. Very good. Well, actually, I think I did actually... let's say actually a few more times. I'm pretty sure that I did succeed in getting the shell out. But it didn't quite get the animation out. The damage should have been dealt, but the animation wasn't there because it was cancelled so quickly. Oh god. I couldn't see him. Not good. Oh, Jesus, this is terrible. I was unfortunately killed by the extended effect of the roar. That's what happened there. Now, there's a good chance that we will fail this quest because we've already got 2 deaths, and we're not even 5 minutes in. So what killed me there was the fact that the roar of the Ukanlos remains damaging for the entirety of the roar. It's not just the initial roar that creates the damaging effect. The whole duration hurts. Oh god. Yeah, the Acantor is the one being hosted by Orsted. And it's a bit glitchy at the moment. Well, not glitchy, more like high ping, I guess. Nicely done. And I've got another Wyvern fire. Yes, yes, thank you. If you ever wanted to know what it was like to just purely try to avoid an Ukanlos, you can see what it's like, and it's kind of annoying, but... Yeah, also, I don't have any stamina recovery materials, which is problematic, but... that's my fault. I don't know why I'm aiming to break the fangs here. It's not all that helpful. I really should be applying damage to the back legs for knockdowns, but I guess I don't want to be competing for space with other bamboo users. I probably won't attempt this again, by the way. I'd like to have a successful hunt, I really would. But it's not looking... our prospects are not looking all that great. And... I will say that I'm not willing to try it again. It's just too much time to spend. What's this? Oh, he's eating you. That's problematic. Oh, he's dead. Fuck. That's some impressive damage. That's really nicely done. We might actually succeed. I thought that would at least take another 5 minutes. Okay. Good team. I don't know if they have reduced health. I suppose they have to. Maybe they don't. No, maybe they don't have reduced health, because if you think about it, you can, with a good team, kill an Ukanlos, or excuse me, an Acantor that quickly. At full health, so I guess we've just got a good team. And as well as that, I do think Ukanlos has been dealing damage to Acantor and vice versa. Oh. I suppose I could have blocked that. I knew that I wouldn't be affected by the damage, but... well, I was affected by the roar. The flinch of it, that is to say. I'd love a successful hunt here. That would be great. Nicely done. Uh-oh. I don't know if I've got... yeah, I don't have life powders, so I can't really support anyone if they're in trouble. Unfortunately. I'll have to guard this, like so. And there's another one coming. Of course, all environmental abilities that the monsters possess in their arenas will also be present here, because they're not intended to be fought outside of those arenas, so it's just part of the hunts at this point. Oh god, get out of that. I do need to sharpen up. What is my sharpness level? It's not that great, is it? I mean, I can't imagine using this without sharpness +1, I have to be completely honest. I don't think razor sharp is going to cut it. Admittedly, you can use it at yellow sharpness, I suppose, but it's not something I'd do. I would rather just... Oh dear. I'm going to use this to get closer. No, not good, not good. I do have guard up. There you go. So how about that, everyone? I was just vindicated entirely. So, I am fully justified in choosing sharpness +1 and guard boost for this set, as very clearly demonstrated by the initial explanation regarding sharpness and the situation that I was just faced with. That could have killed me. Hey, nicely done, guys. That was a fiery finish right there. There's a Hunsterverse trophy for killing every monster in one specific Monster Hunter game with Wyvern Fires. So, yeah, that was a fiery finish. I'm going to focus on carving. That was very nicely done. Where's Akantor? He's actually pretty close, which is good. Because this takes place in the Amatsu Arena. Yeah, I guess it doesn't go all pretty like Amatsu as you describe it. Well, Amatsu's not dead technically, so I guess the storm rages on. That's a good point. And it's interesting that there's a detail like that written into the code of the game. That Amatsu's death specifically triggers that. Alright. Now, the reason why we do this quest, why anyone does this quest, there's your fiery finish, final shot. The reason why anyone does this quest is because of these time warns here. This is very, very good. That's an excessive number of charms. Let's see what we got. May as well take that. That's decent. Obviously, slotted charms are ideal. Hearing 5, I think I've already got one of those. Maybe I'll take it just in case. I don't think I ended up getting anything worthwhile. Loading 3 2-slots alright, charms 3 2-slot. Generally all Queen Talismans belong in the bin and nowhere else. But yeah. That is the Akantor and Ukanlos arena fight. And I'm glad it didn't take all that long, because we've got a good team. But I think that will conclude this live stream. I think we did pretty well. I'm actually going to do... I was going to do some thank you commands and abuse the system by doing multiple, but I've already been thanked in the chat. In that case, I will finish up. I do thank you all for watching, and I will try to do more Portable Third. I do have a lot of... I get a lot of enjoyment out of recording Portable Thirds, so I would enjoy doing more, obviously, but that is all for the moment. I bid you all farewell, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.